I'm a pretty new blue hive. I just switched about a month ago. And after doing the math, I'm expected to make about 1 quadrillion this honey day in just 48 hours. A lot of things about my hive aren't perfect, so this is probably realistic for you too. Blue hive is all about small adjustments, so in this video, I'm going to show you every little thing you can do to increase your honey making. And starting off with macro settings, now I just want to clarify, as blue, you're going to be wanting to macro pretty much the whole time if you can. However, right at the start, you might want to try to get like a really big balloon blessing, but I'll kind of go over that later. If you're too lazy to download one of these new ones, I would just use Fork with these settings and Drift Comp on. But if you want to get one of these cool ones, like I recommend Maku Tide Shift, what you need to do is go to the Natural Macro Discord and go to Macro Patterns and find Maku Tide Shift and basically just follow the instructions here. So yeah, and the settings you want to use on this is you want to turn this off actually, and then you're going to want to turn Gather with Shift Lock on. Medium, and it's going to be width of 7, and you want it to be in the upper left, and the distance here should be 7. And yeah, that's pretty much all you want to do there. Leave this as 10 minutes. That's usually a good amount. I feel like during honey day you'll probably fill up your backpack way faster than this anyway. And then for collect, I definitely recommend doing the clock and Mondo Chick, and just set kill for 60 seconds. I'll talk a little bit about it later, but if you're in a field with a bunch of other blue hives, they'll do the same thing. And I also use the lid art just for the extra bees, and you know, you don't really need this, but I just like to get the extra rewards. And then the samovar is definitely good to keep your nectar up. Now you don't really want to kill anything because it just like spends time and it's just a waste, so I don't recommend doing this. But now here comes the really important thing. So first of all, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn this on just by hitting here, and you're going to want to, unless if you are low on materials, you're going to want to use both of these. And sometimes I feel like for me the free field boost like breaks all the time, so I don't know if you might not want to turn that on. But yeah, set your slots, and you might want to do deactivation limits because otherwise it might end up using all. And you also want to add a lot of stuff here, like if you want to add enzymes for converting a balloon, you can do that. Definitely add blue extracts wherever you want and set it to 10 minutes. And you can add snowflakes too. It seems to like never work for me, and I can't click the up button for some reason. I don't know how this works. If anyone knows, you could let me know. But this would definitely be useful because it gives a capacity buff. So, and you can also use whirligigs if you want to. Now this is very important. The sticker stack, you want to have that on. Make sure you have a decent amount of tickets before doing this. And while we're talking about the sticker stack, I just want to show you what you kind of want in your sticker stack. There's not too many specific things, but you want to do as much blue pollen as you can, as much capacity as you can. Like, I'm almost tempted to donate this because it gives a 3% capacity buff. But anyway, the most important one, which I have not done yet, I'm planning to do pretty soon, is the pine tree stamp. As obviously it gives 10% pine tree forest pollen, so very important. Also, honey at hive can be very good, so you might want to donate a lot of these. So yeah, that's pretty much it in that section. Quests, you don't really want to do any. And planters, you definitely want to do this. I just turn on plus and turn on the ones you want to do. This is not the community I macro on, so not all this stuff is going to be right. But yeah, basically just set it to blue. You might want to increase these a little bit as you can if you want, because these are pretty important. And yeah, just set it to planters you want. It doesn't really matter. And obviously make sure this is not 0. I don't know why that's 0. And something that can also be very important is doing a Discord integration. There's a lot of tutorials on it, but all you need to do, you hit the gear icon on a Discord channel, select integrations, and basically hit this webhook button right here. Just copy the webhook URL. If you haven't made one yet, just hit new webhook and then paste it in here. And it's really nice because it says how much honey you made per hour. And yeah, obviously for the settings, just make sure everything's right. Make sure this is correct. Make sure your hive slot is right before you start macroing. And you will want to reconnect every once in a while. So like maybe 12 hours, I think. Just start it whenever you want, really. And then make sure to put the private server link. I'll talk once again more about it later. But yeah, put your private server link right here. So yeah, that's all the macro stuff. And now I'm just going to get on to recapping the hive. If you guys don't have the right blue hive setup yet, you can skip this part if you already have a good blue hive. I'll show on screen where to skip to. But anyway, the bees you're going to want is basic bee, bumblebee, cool bee, looker bee, stubborn bee, Bumblebee, Bucko Bee, Commander Bee. Rage Bee you don't want. I'll get to it later on what you will need it for. I have it for something right now. And you do want a Shocked Bee. And you definitely do want a Diamond Bee. And or try to get like around 3 Music Bees, maybe 4. 1 Ninja Bee. You want to try to get this up to 20 Buoyant Bees, but sometimes you'll have to do a few short. And then if you're not macroing with a fuzzy hive, you're going to want a Fuzzy Bee. And then try to get around 8 to 10 tadpole bees, I think. Probably closer to 10. You don't want a vector bee. Honestly, I should just get rid of this. I probably will. And then for event bees, you want bear bee, obviously. Digital bee you don't need. Depends how many drives you have, but I just keep it because it's nice. You want festive bee for the convert rate at Hive. Gummy bee for the honey per pollen. Puppy bee if you're upgrading bees. Other than that, you can take it out. You're going to want tabby bee. And you're not going to want vicious bee unless if once again you're doing robo challenge boosting, which I will show later in the video. Now getting onto the buffs you want to have during honey day. Honestly, just have it look, before you start macroing, it should look pretty similar to this. Pretty much all max nectars if you really can. It's kind of tough, but if you're running planters and samovar all the time, you'll get there eventually. You want to have max bubble blow, which will just happen naturally by the macro. You want to have tide blessing as high as you can. You want to have mondo chick when you're, which will happen automatically. And sticker sack, which will also happen automatically. Right now, you want a much higher balloon blessing than this. Try to get it up into like the 70s if you can at least. But yeah, I'll kind of show you how to do that later. You're gonna probably want to get a pushroom buff. It only lasts for a little bit, but if you can stop your macro and get it every once in a while, it gives you a capacity buff and I think a pollen buff as well, so it can definitely be useful. But yeah, it only lasts 3 hours, so you're gonna have to either stop your macro or just end up losing it. And you're also gonna want wealth clock, definitely. Once again, this video is all about the little adjustments, so I'm gonna show you every little thing that you should definitely do. You definitely want to give some of these bees presents if you haven't yet. Definitely do this. Firstly, gifted bucko bee is very important as it gives a pine tree capacity and bubble pollen. Gummy bear is useful for the 10% capacity. Bubble me man, if you can, is also good for 10% capacity. Robo bear also gives capacity. Anything with giving capacity is obviously very useful. And if you haven't done black bear somehow, it's very good with 5% honey per pollen. So yeah, now on to bee quips. Now just to show you that you can make 800 trillion without being perfect at all. Like I do not have that many. Like some people have 15 of these slots. I have 10. But the ones you definitely want, you want 2 pine cones if you can. I actually haven't put wax on this one yet. I definitely need to do that. You're gonna want whistle. And I'm just gonna show you guys my hive so you guys see which bee quips go on which bees. Icicles are useful. The snow tiara is useful for the blue field capacity. Beesmas tree hat is good for convert rate at Hive. If you have a kazoo, it's definitely good for some extra melody production. If you don't have a kazoo, you're gonna have to use an extra music bee. Toy drum is good. Candy ring is very good for the honey at Hive. And elf cap, which sounds kind of weird, but they can definitely be good if you have honey at Hive on them. And they also give convert rate at Hive. If you just have leftover spots that you don't have anything to fill with, I would just honestly do elf caps and try to get honey at Hive on them. I'll just talk about amulets quickly. Honestly, once again, another thing that I'm not really perfect in. Like, I literally have Guiding Star on my Supreme Star amulet. Because honestly, just why not? It still gives a capacity bonus. I also have Blue Pollen on my Stick Bug amulet, which is obviously important. This is basically what you want in a Supreme Star amulet. I think I got a pretty much perfect one. That's the only one I'm really good on. My Diamond Cog amulet is terrible, but I can't get a Blue Pollen one, so. And for some reason, the game never gives me anything better than a Gold Shell amulet. I'm literally not doing anything. Like, I've killed it way more times than I need. But yeah, I don't think it's super important anyway. The convert amount's kind of important, but that's it. And the Moon amulet actually kind of matters. You want to have Bond from treats if you're leveling up your bees, and honey per pollen if you are just macroing. Anyway, now getting onto the boosting. So if you guys don't know how deflation works in balloons, your balloon will start to deflate if it goes over a certain number. I think it's like, just the higher it is, quicker it deflates. But that also is in relation to your capacity in the last 15 minutes. So basically, if you're able to get an insanely high capacity, you can do your boost, you'll have barely any deflation. And the way most people do this is through the Robo Challenge. Now just to start this round here, I'm only on round 2, obviously. But there are many upgrades that involve capacity, including the cloud. If you can get the cloud, you are doing amazing. So yeah, if you can, I'm not going to show you how to do this because I'm so bad at it. But basically, if you're able to get to round like 20, yeah, after you do that and get to round 20, what you want to do is use a blue drive, use like a super smoothie and all the things that buff your capacity, which you're not wasting them because you're going to be using them for the boost anyway. And if you do it right, you should be able to get up to like, I've seen people get up to 100 billion capacity, which at that point, your deflation will not matter too much. And you might want to, honestly, if you're struggling doing a Robo Challenge like me, you might want to wait until you start your honey day and then do it, because it definitely makes honey collecting a lot easier. So you just want to end the Robo Challenge so you had your huge capacity and your balloon will not deflate as much. And during the boost, I'm not really going to go over it because I've already gone over a lot in this video. You just want to get a super smoothie, marshmallow bee if you really want to, because it gives a huge buff to capacity. Obviously use loaded dice and glitter to get the 4 times stuff. And blue boosting is pretty simple, just stay in the corner and kind of move around and stuff. It's really not that hard to boost as blue. And yeah, the reason you stay in the corner is so like the balloons don't like move around as much. But yeah, if you do want to learn more how to Robo Challenge boost better, it's a lot to go over in this video, so I'll put a link down in the description. But it is important to change your hive from the original, so definitely get like Rage Bee and Vicious Bee when you're doing it. As blue, you don't want to macro alone, you want to macro with a bunch of other blue hives, as it can be very useful as you can get way higher pop stars, and obviously the field will have all like star flowers and stuff. So what you want to do is once again go to the natural macro server, scroll down until you see macro servers, and basically find one that's for your region. So this one says EU, so I wouldn't do that one. I basically just find one that says North America. So right here, and basically you don't want to be in a server with more than 4 people, because otherwise it's going to be super laggy. So I feel like people don't really take into effect how much lag affects it. So if it has more than 4 people, I definitely don't recommend going in there. And also, once again, make sure to find one with your region, otherwise it will probably be a lot more laggy. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to cover in this video. I guess one more thing is if you haven't used your Galentine's buff yet and you have 50k strawberries, definitely use that because it's going to give an even more boost. Just basically stack everything you possibly can onto this, and that's how you make blue good. Every little adjustment will help you a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck with your Honey Day macroing.